live. This is going to be a reading for my Cancers. Let's see what the next 72 hours has in store for you. Of course, if you do want to see future readings from me, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you like this video, if you feel like it resonates with you at any point, smash the like button, leave me a comment below. I do respond. And let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to pull about 3 cards to look at just the overall general energy. What does the overall general energy look like for my Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements? What does it look like? Okay, so we have the Temperance card, we have the Star card, and also the Emperor. So the next 72 hours is about getting to a place to where you're emotionally balanced and also physically balanced in terms of like physical care. If you've been, trying to work on your health, recovering from surgery, recovering from being sick, this could be working out again or changing your eating habits to some degree. This could even talk about just trying to balance like work and also having some time for yourself. Overall, there's things that you're trying to get under control in terms of your overall well-being. Also, there could be some things that are calling for your attention on an emotional level. Maybe there have been, some rocky things going on between you and the person you have children with, or with you and a boss at a job, and it's been affecting your ability to get rest, to feel at peace. This is going to be a time frame where you got to take care of yourself. Okay, it's going to be very apparent. Also, there could be a Sagittarius, Aquarius, or a Aries of significance during this time frame. It also talks about healing on a emotional level. A lot of you could be seeing a silver lining finally. If you have been maybe just impatient with your ability to heal from a toxic relationship, or even impatient when it comes to getting a new job or getting certain things under control, there could be certain glimpses of opportunity or growth where it's like, okay, I'm getting the hang of things, which is good. Now, going into what I see in terms of the overall advice for the next 72 hours for you, I have the Fool card in reverse, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and also the Devil card. So the advice is to be mindful of jumping headfirst into situations that feel risky. And when I say this, this is like knowing someone is a risk when it comes to taking them back into your life, because maybe they have, done certain things in the past and they have yet to take accountability for it, or they struggle with certain things in terms of toxic habits or toxic behaviors that could affect you if you do have them in your life. So this would be inherently risky if you were to take this person in. And understanding that risk is something that we assume with everything. You take on risk when you deal with someone on a romantic level. You take on risk when you deal with someone on a friendship level, in all aspects. So anything that could be, even like in terms of business, if you're going to be putting your money into an investment or into a business idea, make sure that you're not being headfirst into it and spending more money than necessary, or wasting money in things that you may not necessarily need. Speaking of money, another piece of advice, it does talk about saving, putting money to the side. With the Four of Pentacles in reverse, some of you could feel like maybe you don't have, that much leg room to save. And you don't have to save a whole bunch of money. It can be increments. It could be $5, $10 a day. All of that adds up. $27 a day is $10,000 by the end of the year. So it can be small amounts. It doesn't have to be a big amount, especially if you do have financial goals and maybe you've been feeling a bit discouraged in terms of reaching them. This is a time where you just want to be diligent and just doing what you can. Another piece of advice is to address anything that is weighing you down in terms of habits or perspectives that can be limiting. Whenever you start to tell yourself, oh, I can't do that, or this is going to be impossible, or this is going to be too hard, you need to banish those thoughts, okay? Immediately. Now, going into the possible challenges you may face during this time frame, Cancers, we have the Judgment, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, and also the King of Wands. So the challenge you may face There could be someone around you who can't be trusted, mainly because they don't take accountability and they don't stand in the light. They don't even take accountability for stuff in their own life. So it's challenging because you could care about this person, but they may not care enough to stand on taking responsibility for things, and that could leave their personal life disheveled, or it could leave them, or leave you with a bad taste in your mouth when it comes to dealing with them. Another challenge, there could be someone who's trying to ask you for money, but they're really bad at paying you back. You may not necessarily trust them when it comes to you getting your money back, or if it's not money, it could be someone asking you for a favor, and you may not trust that they'll actually follow through with whatever they'll say that they'll do for the favor. So it could be hard for you to trust someone, even though you want to help them. For others of you, the challenge could be trusting as a whole when it comes to dating. You may want to connect with, someone on a romantic level, but you may not feel like there's been a person that came into your life yet who has shown you that it's safe enough to do that. Possible zodiac signs that could be challenging to you just as a whole. I have the earth energy and I also have fire energy. So this could be Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Doesn't have to be any of these zodiac signs, but there could be maybe some conflict or issues there. Now, going into love specifically, what does the energy look like for my Cancers when it comes to their love life? I have the Sun card, the Five of Wands in reverse, and also the King of Swords. So for my singles, you could be at a space to where you're not really happy with where your love life is at, but you could be at a space to where you just don't want drama. So you could be disconnecting yourself just as a whole from dating. Like being single could be just mentally more sound for you, especially if you're not at a space to where you can handle a whole bunch of stress or overwhelm. For my other Cancers who are single, I can't talk right now. You could be at a space to where there may be someone that you're dealing with, but you may not be all the way convinced or sold on them. There could be things that you're waiting on them to do, like for them to stop dealing with other people, or for them to make it 100% clear that you guys are headed towards the path of actually making things a lot more serious. For my Cancers who are in a relationship, you may be feeling like things are just not as, light in the relationship. There's an opportunity to get past any challenges or any conflicts you guys have been having, but there could be this like stonewalling or shutting down. Also a need for just better communication as a whole, like fully expressing like, okay, my needs are this, or my expectations are this, so that you guys can kind of be on the same page. Now, let's look at career and finance. What is going on with career and finance for my Cancers? I have the Death card, the Ten of Pentacles, and also the Eight of Cups in reverse. So with your career and finance, it does talk about some of you guys are actually ready to transition into a career path that's been on your mind for like a year or years. This may have been something you wanted to do for a while now, but you either have waited to actually step into it because you've been just a bit on the edge, or not on the edge, but on the fence when it comes to making this decision, especially if you have to transition like completely from what you do now into this thing. It's been a bit of a hesitation, but I do think a lot of you are going to be making some strategic exit plans for transitioning from a career that you're in now into something else. This also talks about changes happening within a job. There could be things like your your job basically getting bought out. And there could be things that are changing in terms of the rules or the expectations, or even people getting fired. And you could be on edge about like, okay, is my job in jeopardy, or am I going to be caught up in this thing? Okay, some of you actually are not actually going to get fired. It's just a concern. But yeah, this is what I see overall. I hope that I did give you some insight in regards to just what's going on. I hope that this was helpful and did give you answers, insight, all that jazz. If you enjoyed, thumbs up the video, subscribe, and I will see